Hello, I'm Dash.
And I'm Heidi. We're hosts at the Ontario Science Centre. We're exploring how different forms of energy can be transformed for use in our daily lives. In this video, we're going to have a look at how moving energy, that is, kinetic energy, can be converted into electricity.
Electricity is a form of energy. By harnessing the flow of an electric charge, we can use electricity to power our lights, stoves, and so much more.
Energy can't be created or destroyed, but it can be transformed. To generate electricity, we have to transform kinetic energy into electric current.
To do this, we need a turbine, a generator, and a source of kinetic energy, like wind or water.
Let's talk about wind power first. Wind turbines have giant blades attached to something called a rotor. It's called a rotor because it rotates. The kinetic energy of wind moves the blades of the turbine, making them spin. They make a rotor spin, and then the energy travels down to a set of gears and a rod called a drive shaft. At the end of the drive shaft is the generator.
The generator spins a magnet, which is surrounded by copper coils. The magnet causes electrons in the copper to flow, forming a steady electric current. This electricity travels from the wind turbine to a substation and then to a transformer station before finally reaching our homes.
The amount of electricity generated by a wind turbine depends on the size and design of the blades, and of course, on the amount of wind.
Depending on where you live, you might have seen wind turbines before.
Wind power is a clean energy source, meaning it doesn't pollute the environment, and it's also renewable because it replenishes faster than we can use it. We'll never run out of wind.
Of course, wind conditions vary. Winter tends to be more windy than summer, for example.
This makes wind power a great partner to solar power, which generates the most electricity in the summer.
Another method we use to generate electricity is called hydroelectricity. This method works a lot like wind power, but instead of wind, it uses water. But where does the kinetic energy of water come from?
Gravity, of course. To generate hydroelectricity, you need water to fall from a substantial height, like a waterfall or a human-made dam. Water from the upper river or from the reservoir behind the dam flows through an opening called an intake, and then downwards through a pipe called a penstock, turning its potential energy into kinetic energy. Once the moving water hits the bottom of the drop, it spins a turbine that spins a generator, and there you have it, hydroelectricity.
Hydroelectricity is a renewable source of energy because it relies on the natural water cycle driven by the sun.
Hydro is one of the most widely used forms of renewable energy in Canada and around the world.
It's an efficient, effective energy source, but it also has some challenges.
There are a limited number of places that are suitable for building hydroelectric plants, and constructing these large facilities can cause habitat loss.
However, there's still an important source of power in many parts of the world. So, the next time you turn on a light or ride in an electric car, thank wind and water.